Hello and welcome back to Rosewyn Craft. I did another building. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the andesite yet, but I kind of like it. Anyway, it's been a while. I still don't like that building. Like it functions for now, I guess. I really don't like it as much as I like these. I like the roof, but that's about it. I plan to just redo this entire thing, quite frankly. Anyway, I have been trying to grind, and I got to a point where I was like, oh, I want to do this off camera. I don't want to show anyone. This bit's so boring, even though I haven't made a video in a while because I've been busy. And then I realized how much gold I need, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll go mining. And then I realized that all of the caves and stuff near me, I've basically already gotten things from. If I recall correctly, there was a pretty cool cave that we found by the Darko. So I thought we might go there and do some mining and some grinding, and I will tell you about the past couple months of my life. There's a strong part of me that wants to see if I can get fortune or something for this mining session, because I found a little tiny bit of gold. I've got some gold here. I'm going to need more gold, and I'm going to need apples. So the other thing is I need to get one of these guys and turn them into a farmer. For that, I need a minecart. I have 8 minecarts. In total, I have 8. They are, you will find, here. I don't exactly have one to spare right now. I need some iron, I need some gold, and then I'm going to get a farmer to try and buy some apples from them. First step, I've got to get probably a bit more food and some coal. I will prepare for adventure and see you in just a little bit. Hold on, I was just walking home a different way than usual and I found Arctic foxes! I didn't know there were Arctic foxes here. Hello, friends! I don't have my berries on me. No. Okay, well, I know where they are now. They're the way I usually go to get to the village is that way, and I went around instead of going the direct route from my house. I took the other way. I don't have a good reason why, but I found Arctic foxes. That's so cool. They're really close to my house. I've never tried to like befriend foxes before, so I'm kind of pretty excited about that. Now let's actually get ready for mining session. Well, here we are. I'm pretty sure that I have not explored this area yet, so hopefully it's going to be a decent cave. I didn't get fortune, which is maybe I should have, but there's a lot of iron here. I'm pretty sure that my fortune villager is one of the ones that currently needs to be healed. I have a bit of gold. I have enough iron to make 1 minecart. I feel like I have to do that first. Executive dysfunction is really getting to me today. I feel like I have to do that first. Hello, villager. Could I convince you to just enter this booth over here, please? Thank you, thank you. Composter, pick up a job. Not that job. Okay, give me level ups. Yeah. Pumpkins, I can do that. I will need a minute. I gotta go harvest them. But this is looking good. Please be giving me apples. Apples? Apples. Please apples. Oh, villagers are such a chore. Here we are. Bye, my pumpkins. Got enough of these things that they grow fairly quickly, which is cool. And you know, also wheat fields. I'm just going to have to sort of AFK here for a bit. I'll probably end up going between here and there because, as you can see, I have some more pumpkins over that a ways. So this is going to be my life for the next, I don't know, YouTube video or so. Okay, so I don't know if 44 is going to be enough. 45 is going to be enough, but I think it's worth trying. Yeah, ice freeway, woo! I'm really liking this second building. I still am not entirely sure how I feel about the andesite. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of the andesite. Please, villager, please. Okay, I have two things that I am asking you to please do. One, please level up enough to show me where the apples should be. Two, please sell apples. See, none of those are apples. I don't remember what slot apples are supposed to be in. Like, would it be here or would it be the next one? I'm going to look that up. Okay, well, I'm glad that I didn't waste any more of my time trying to level this guy up more. It should be in this tier, so I'll just have to get past this first bit. The bad news there is that I really don't have a good means of getting any of those. I was thinking, hey, maybe I could make a pumpkin farm. Like, yeah, I'm a little resource short at the moment, but a pumpkin farm might be worth it. Especially since I now have, like, 2 whole villagers who like pumpkins. It's just apples are the thing holding me back right now. So I need to get apples up and running. But hey, at the end of this, I'm sure I can build, like, a farmer's market or something. I'm going to make this prettier at some point, I swear. I just don't exactly know how yet. Oh, this is going to take me forever. Most of a building, lunch, and about 2 axes later, and we've got some profits. So, it's not done yet, but I decided that while I was waiting for things to grow, I might as well build something. I'm gonna grab that ladder. That actually took so long. It's been like at least 3 hours. Come on, level up. Show me apples. Apples, apples, apples. Yeah! Woo, woo, woo! I'm so excited about the apples. Give me all your apples. Okay, and then, like, while we're here, emeralds, please. I started recording today at, like, 11:30, 11:40. It is currently 3:20 p.m. And I have 14 and a half minutes of footage recorded via OBS. I hope that that gives you some indication of just how long it took me to get this farming stuff. I got distracted by a build. That's what happened there. Like, I could have left far before that, but I was like, well, I might as well build something while I'm here and I have the inspiration for it. Obviously, the next step is weakness potion, gold. I can only make 4 with the amount of gold I have. I have 8 villagers to cure. I have 5 more gold. Could make 1 more. And I'd still have 3 villagers to cure, and I don't remember which of the villagers in the thing is my fortune guy. All of this was to try and get fortune before I go mining more. And I'm not even convinced that I can. I think I'm going to have to just cure 5 of them. Actually, it's occurring to me that you guys don't know how I got all that gold to begin with. So let me tell you the story. Because I don't think I did it on recording. I did it just grinding, but I did take screenshots to show my Twitch subs. Let me tell you the saga of the stone pickaxe. I made an anvil. I used up most of my iron to make an anvil to enchant a stone pickaxe with silk touch. And I went to the nether, and I got a bunch of nether ore, a bunch of nether gold ore, because I knew that it was going to be, with limited iron, was going to be the best way for me to get gold. And I'm kind of feeling like it might be worth doing again, but the thing is that my Silk Touch villager is currently zombified. And I don't think I have an extra Silk Touch book. No, I don't. So, unfortunately for me, this is the amount of gold that I have. Hopefully, with this, I can unzombify the Silk Touch dude and the Fortune dude and scrape by with easy enchants. Of course, there's no coal there. Can you pick things up? I don't think you can, which is unfortunate. You can also see over there that I've got a little golden skeleton. Let's bring zombies to the skeleton. Oh, except for the fact that that might make the skeleton shoot the zombie and then devour each other. I'm gonna have to get a new boat. So yeah, let me know what to do with my golden enchanted armored mobs. The zombie is missing pants, but I think the skeleton might be entirely enchanted. I'm not sure. There is the temptation to make an area for the Skeleton King, because that's a piece of lore that I developed at some point. And, you know, the Skeleton King is like the one true ruler of our lands. Might have to build a castle or something for the Skeleton King. Alright, come on, let's get things cured so that I can tell you about the past few months of my life. Because that's the sort of thing to do while mining and not while waiting for villagers to cure. We are leaving this one, and this one because they're at the back. So getting all of the dudes that we can get out of here first is more important. Except that dude managed to dodge the potion, and I'm getting very beat up. That guy dodging the potion is not great. Me dying is not great. So I'm doing this guy because that guy is being problematic. That's fine. I'll see you guys when we have villagers. Alright, we've got 4 of them. This dude is still curing, but like, let's see. Silk Touch! Excellent. Unbreaking, Flame, Power, Efficiency. Okay. So, not Fortune yet, but Silk Touch does allow me to do the Nether method, at the very least. And I still feel decent about going caving with a Silk Touch pick. Gotta just move everyone a bit, because we'll need a spot free here to catch this guy. I don't think it's worth watching me do this, but I'm gonna keep recording just in case I make a mistake like that. That's fine. This is chill. This is fine. That guy can just hang out there while I move the rest of these guys. And now that's going that way. You can go there. This goes back. And the rest of you can honestly just go. This should be fine. This should be fine. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'll be back. I'll be back. Don't even worry about it. It's just occurred to me that I had things I wanted to talk about today. I was going to talk about my work-life stuff over the past few months. It's just occurred to me that I'm actually recording on a time limit today. My grandfather is going to get here possibly as soon as 20 minutes, and that is going to be a bit difficult because the entire reason that I got the motivation to record today is because I figured out what needed to be done in this world and what I could talk about while I was doing it. And I'm probably not even going to get up to the point of recording that bit before I run out of time to record today. And that is both so funny to me and also, like, honestly, probably the best example I can give as to why I've been quiet on YouTube for so long. Because you're like, no, it's fine. I've got an idea. I can do it. I'll do my idea. That's so funny. I am suffering. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this in, but like, that's honestly so funny to me. And really frustrating. It's really frustrating too. But hey, I'm trying to figure out whether to put like a windmill on this thing. Because I tend to put windmills on stuff that is farmwards. And also something by the sea. Maybe like a combination windmill lighthouse. Although I should put a lighthouse over there. Alright. I'm putting these together onto my pickaxe. And then I'm also thinking making one of these stone pickaxes. Silk touch as well. It's the most cursed thing that I can possibly do to enchant a stone pickaxe with silk touch, but I stand by the decision. Pumpkin pie, golden carrot steak. I've got some good food on me now. Wow, villagers are so useful. I went from having no food to, like, lots of food. Let's go! I find myself once more at the mouth of this cave. What adventures await us as we dive into the depths? Okay, being dramatic aside, I don't have great anything. I'ma be honest. I will wait for this bit until I have, like, an aqua affinity helmet, preferably also respiration. But this I'll take. I am going to try and take ores with silk touch. Okay, as we go mining, I was going to tell you guys about past couple of woos, golden zombie. Alright, actually heal now. Past couple of months of my life. For those of you who are unaware, I work in early childhood education. I was prepared for January, February to be difficult. I knew that I was letting the children who had been in my care for the past year, or actually, as I'm recording this, I am 2 days from my, out of arrows, from my 1 year anniversary. So yeah, the children who I'd spent basically the last year with, letting them fly the nest, helping them move on into their next room, going from the like 1.5 to 2 year old room to the 2 to 3 year old room. I was prepared for that to be difficult. I was going to spend a month with them in their new room so that they had a familiar face in an unfamiliar space and they'd know that they were safe and could get used to their new space with someone to give them a little extra love and a little extra cuddles if they needed it. And then after that first month, after most of January, I would go back to the room with the little, like, 1.5 year olds. I should probably stop getting distracted with all this, like, surface iron and surface coal, considering that the thing we really need is gold. Like, I'm telling myself I can come back, but also I know myself and I know that I probably won't. So let's see where and if things go down. So, yes, prepared for settling in new children to be hectic. I have spent time with kids new to the center before. The idea of everyone being new all at once was difficult. There was a week last year where we had 3 children who were new. 3 children who had probably never been to a childcare center before, who had probably never slept outside of their parents' house, or maybe if they've slept outside of their parents' house, hadn't slept outside of their grandparents' house in their lives. Like, spending time, even if it's only half a day, in an area you don't know, with people you don't know, when your parents leave you there, is pretty dramatic to everybody. When you're less than 2 years old, that is a significant portion of your life. So, yeah, the kids tend to need a little extra comfort when they're first at the center. And in the middle of the year, when new children, when new children grow up, like, new children join the center all the time. It's not just an intake at the beginning of the year and then they grow. No, no. The youngest you really want to send your child to childcare is 8 months old. Children are born all year round. They're not only going to be 8 months old in January or in February. People still need childcare in the middle of the year when their children reach that age. New children join the center all the time. But this is my first January, February working in childcare, and I knew it was going to be pretty hectic having all of these new kids join all at once instead of having 2 to 3 children who it's their first week here. It was going to be every single one of the children whose first week in the center aligned. I'm really glad that I got to stay with my kids, with my group from last year, and help them settle in to their new room before going to my new group. I really, really appreciated that opportunity. It was really special to me and really important to me, and the educators in that room really appreciated my help. And I kind of want to tell you guys a bit about that, and then I'll tell you a bit about what my new room is like. So this mining segment is another installation of Laura just talks about childcare for however long. Hello, little axolotl. I feel like I shouldn't. Oh, you found some iron, did you? Go to that one instead. I'm gonna dig out this one. Thank you. But I feel like I shouldn't bring you with me, little axolotl. Oh, that's actually really, really exciting. Yes, please. No, thank you. No creepers. So, my new kid settling into the room. Wow, I don't think I've told any of these stories on YouTube yet. Okay. It was really great being the person who knew the kids. I've always considered that emotionally supporting the children is one of the things that I specialize in. It's one of my strengths. The reason that I came with the children to their new room was both because the children knew me, and for their emotional safety, having a familiar face in the area was important. Nothing's fully grown yet, but I shouldn't. I should not grab crystals. Oh, there is one fully grown. I should not grab crystals with the touch just yet. Probably shouldn't even grab that much calcite just yet. I mostly just came to light this up, I think. Dual reasoning for having someone who is familiar with the children and the children are familiar with move with them, at least for a short period of time, if not permanently, is because for the emotional safety of the children, having someone that they recognize in this new space is important, but also because children who have not yet learned the skills to communicate, I don't feel well, or I need this particular thing. The best way to tell that a child is feeling unwell, scared, that something is going wrong with the child, is to be familiar with that child. Some children will be quiet all of the time, and that is not an alarming thing. Some children, oh, look at this! Oh, hello, zombie, this is gorgeous. I mean, we're building an underground sort of very Hollow Hill thing village here, right? Yes, cool. Absolutely incredible area. I'm in awe. Um, yeah, some children are very loud and cry to process their feelings. I was one of those children, at least in primary school. I don't know about before that because I don't have many memories before primary school, but I cried all the time just to figure out how I was feeling and to process those emotions. For some kids, crying a bunch is totally normal. That's to be expected of that child, and it's not a note of alarm. It's not something to brush off and ignore either. Their feelings are valid, but sometimes crying for them just means I need a moment to process what's going on. Can you give me some space? Deep slate coal! I didn't know that this was even still possible to find. I'm so happy. Some children try to process the world. Some children are quiet. I have seen a child who was trapped, who was in pain that was slowly getting worse, who did not cry. When a child like that cries, it is an indication that something is terribly wrong, that they need immediate attention. This is an urgent thing. When the educators in the room don't know the children, they don't Oh, diamonds. They don't have the familiarity with the children to be able to say. The fact that this child is crying, the fact that this child is uninterested in food is another big one. Maybe they're just struggling with the day a bit. So you bring someone into the room who is familiar with the children. Where are you? Both so the children have someone familiar for their emotional well-being, and so that someone can say the fact that that child is being quiet in the corner and sort of withdrawing from everything is fine. That's the normal thing. The fact that that child doesn't want to eat is a sign that something is wrong, and maybe they're feeling ill. Maybe we should take their temperature. Just to give you an idea of why I was in the room. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. Check that there's no creepers around. Light up over here just a bit more. Let's get these diamonds. Woo! So, it was so rewarding being able to go into the room, which I was not very familiar in, with some stuff that I had not really met yet. But these kids that I had spent the last 2 or 3 weeks missing, because some of them went to their holidays early, and I only had 2 weeks off at the end of the year, which I really tried to make videos during that time, guys, but wow, I had to do some self-care first. We're gonna talk about video production at some point as well, but yeah, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into what's happening in my day job work life. You can sort of understand where I've been. So rewarding being able to say, baby zombie, hey. Yeah, I am talking about children. Hello. Yeah, it was so rewarding being able to go into this space and to look at these children that I had missed so much, and to just basically work magic with how well I knew them. A child who had really only just settled in the room that we had left, being brought into a new room, came in and they were not calm when I saw them on that first day, and I could tell from the general air of the educators around that they're doing the whole, if you make eye contact with this child, it makes their emotional regulation worse because it reminds them where they are and that there are people they don't know here, so we're just going to keep an eye on them and let them regulate themselves for a little bit, and that's the best we can do right now. And I come in and I crouch down next to this child who I've developed an emotional attachment to. I say to them, hey, I missed you. It's good to see you. Hi, we're in the new room now. And look, all of our friends are here too. Would you help me do something in this new room? Would you help me find some books? And I give it to them very seriously as a task, as a, this is something that you can do. And I need your help with this. But I had prepared. I'd gone in with a list of kids who would be interested in books. And knowing if I can get them to the books, they're going to feel better about where we are. If I can get them to the books, they'll be confident in themselves. They'll be confident in this space. They'll have a place they can go where they feel safe. They'll have something that they can do that engages them. And that just leading them over to the books was something that would take away their agency. So I was very aware that I was prepared to ask these children, my little group of librarians who love reading, prepared to ask them, can you help me find the book? And this kid, tears in their eyes, who was inconsolable just a second ago, sniffles and looks up to me with these big, wide, teary eyes, and this spark of recognition and excitement, this glow in their eyes suddenly. And they blink and they sniffle and they go, books! And I take their hand and we walk over to the books together, and they sit down immediately and start reading, and hello, you're a little too far away from home for me to bring you back with me. And unfortunately, I don't think I actually have the data packs working. But it's okay because the skeleton killed you anyway, so it's not like you would have actually dropped a mob head. And then throughout the rest of the day, anytime I checked in on that kid, I was like, I wonder how they're doing. I just look over to the books, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing fine. That child is doing great. They're top of their game. They know where they are. They know what they're doing. They are right as rain. And I was able to do that a couple more times, just working little bits of magic, because I know these kids, I know what interests them. There was a child who was struggling that morning, and I've never seen that kid cry so much because they were always so confident in our last room. But I knew a, you know, a type of activity that they could. I'm dead. Oops. Right. Now that we're back here. Yeah, so I knew some of those children well enough that, I can do things like my hands are full. I'm not available to take the child for hugs. And by my hands are full, I mean at the time I think I was holding two other children who had just arrived. But I know this child well enough that I can tell the person who ended up taking the child is not entirely sure what to do with that one. Showing it around the room, get gold. I have 0 blast resistance, but it was more important to me to get that gold ore than it was to survive that creeper. I have keep inventory on. Lead educator there is not sure how to get the child to engage with anything, which, effectively grounds the child. It gives them something that they can think about, something that they can focus on. But I'm able to say, because I know the child, I'm able to say, do you have any puzzles or anything that uses fine motor skills that the child can interact with? Because I know that that child can do fine motor skills for hours. There's this little tool of measurement that says a child can focus for as many minutes as they have years of age. If you're teaching a lesson to 4-year-olds, you have to cram that lesson into 4 minutes. I have witnessed this 2-year-old spend 2 actual hours putting little cut-up straws through a lid with holes punched into it. So I was able to already know, without having to trial and error, to already know what sort of thing this child will engage in so that they can ground themselves in this unfamiliar space. And the person who's familiar with the room was able to find something that matched that description. Now, for those of you who don't know, fine motor skills are anything that involves the delicate muscles like in your hands. For adults, this looks like your penmanship skills, your ability to open a packet of chips, managing a keyboard, buttoning the buttons on a shirt. For babies and toddlers, this looks like posting shapes through holes that, are about the size of those. It looks like being able to turn a container that they are holding around in their hands. And I know that this child in particular has such a high attention span for that particular activity. The person holding them heard me say that and looked around and basically unceremoniously dumped this child in a chair. They were like, yep, here, sit down in this chair, child. But there was not much hesitation there, and it was very funny to me how it just, where does the child need to be? Okay, yep. All right, cool. But halfway down, this is the important thing. Halfway down, sitting in that chair, the child saw the toy, stopped crying, immediate focus, was no longer paying attention to the person holding them, was no longer paying attention to me. They see the thing, they reach out their hands, and they are ready to be able to interact with a tool that, for the skill level they got themselves to be, was way, way too young for them, honestly. So yeah, it was really rewarding to me being able to help the children like that and have them not only see me and recognize that this is a safe place to be and know that they can come to me, but also to be able to so quickly and so seamlessly help them adjust to that space. I was prepared for January and for February to be very, very rough. I was prepared for everyone to be crying, including me. And honestly, barely anyone cried. But it was a lot easier than I was anticipating it being. And I'm really, really happy about that. But it was also very good and very rewarding to see these children that a lot of them became my best friends. And I'd been missing them for 2 or 3 weeks, man. I'd been I got emotionally attached, and now they're moving to a different school. It's the same school. It's a different room. And they're leaving me, or I'm leaving them, and we're assigned to different classes now, and I knew that I only had limited time with them. But it was also really rewarding to see these kids that I'd taught see me in this new space and say, "Hi, Shay." Oh, it's so good to come into work and to have the kids say, "Hi, Shay," and "Good morning, Shay." And now that I'm in the baby's room, they only see me through the fence as I walk past their room. And I had a kid see me from the other side of the garden, call out to everyone there, "It's Shay!" Run full tilt across the yard to get to me, fall flat on their face, because they're a toddler, pick themselves right back up to immediately continue running full tilt toward me, calling out, "It's Shay! Hi, Shay! Hi, Shay!" until they got to the fence where I was so that they could grab onto the bars and peek their little head through and see me and say hi. And to have kids see me after a couple of weeks break and go, "Shay, look, new shoes." Because when I met them, they couldn't say any of those words, or they could only say shoes. And they could look pointedly at the shiny new shoes on their feet, but to have them be able to tell me, "Look at my new shoes," is incredible. But also knowing that they care about me enough to want to show me their new shoes. And then when I say, "Oh, wow, you got new shoes," they go, "Yeah, Mummy got new shoes," saying, not only "Look at my shoes," but "Let me give you more information. I want to tell you about this thing." Was just absolutely incredible, and I adore those children so much. I was clinging on to every moment that I had with those kids in that room. Every smile, every word, knowing I'm not going to see them much. And even still, I look through the fence and it's incredible. I have gotten so attached to these children, guys, that I can identify which child is doing a thing on the other side of the fence, through the window, through the fence, like down a bit. The ground is not level. I can tell which child is hopping about, skipping about, has figured out how to run without looking at their shoes, which is often a telltale sign of which child it is, especially if they're not new shoes. Without looking at their hat, which again I can identify by sight, or if they have a new hat, without being able to see their face. I got so emotionally attached to this group of kids that I can identify them by the way they are holding their body, by the way they're moving, without seeing any defining features of the child. Now I'm sure that that's probably normal for early childhood educators, but like, this is my first group of kids, dude. This is my first group of students, and I miss them so terribly. Speaking of, I miss them so terribly, my first week in the older babies room, at the very end of my shift, was asked to take a group of our older kids down to my old group of toddlers in their new room. And I had 3 weeks helping those kids settle in. But those are the 3 weeks at the end of the year, stuff that would still be school holidays. You know, primary school to high school. Not all of the children had returned, so there were some kids that I never got to help settle into that room. And I saw one of those children who was doing very, very well. They ran up to me to say hi, to tell me all about their new shoes and their new water bottle and this toy that they'd found. And then it was the very end of my shift, and my supervisor comes up to me and just checks what time I finish. So they say, "You're at 5, right?" And I say, "Yes." And they say, 4 minutes, because they're aware that I have time blindness and that I genuinely would not know how far away 5 o'clock is if they hadn't have told me. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Now, I would have known that it was 5 o'clock and it was time to go home because I'd been in that room with my original group for 3 weeks and I'd gotten pretty used to their routine. So I know that the time I go home is once they all go for their end of day meal. So I would have known. But this child who hadn't seen me in that room and was used to the younger kids' room where we have that late meal an hour earlier than they do in the older kids' room, and who's used to me being the one to serve it, would have had no reason to receive the same message as me, even if they heard what was said between my supervisor and I. So when 4 minutes passed and the children started filing in to wash their hands to go have some food, and this child that I hadn't seen since last year came up to me and looked up at me and asked me, going home? Which I, for a second, thought might mean, are my parents here yet? So I very carefully said, I'm going home, yes. Are you going to wash your hands for some food? And they nodded, reached their arms out to me and said, cuddle? And I melted, guys, because this child, I have said for a while now, gives the best cuddles. And somehow recognized that it was time for me to go home and wanted to give me a cuddle before I left. And so I said that I would love a goodbye cuddle, yes. And they gave me an incredible cuddle because they give the best hugs. This kid gives the best hugs. And then when they were finished with the cuddle, they pulled back and they looked me in my eyes very seriously and they said, bye, Shay. And then they went and they toddled off to go wash their hands with no further prompting from me. It just melts my heart every time I think about it. Heart melting. Absolutely heart melting. So yes, I tried to get ready for January and February being a bit of a full-on time at work. I tried to use my 2 weeks off in December to prep, to work on videos a bit, but I did not manage to really accomplish as much as I would have liked to within that time. It's been a while since I've done stuff. Missed you all terribly. Haven't had time. I've been working on stuff, but it has been taking so long. Yeah, it constant state of I am doing the best I can with what I have and can be expected to do no more than that. Okay, I'm going to go get some new armor. And then I'm going to go to the Nether for another Nether gold trip. So I think that's the majority of the important little stories to tell about how my group of 2-year-olds are doing. I still see them through the fence and they run up to me, so excited to see me, and they say, hi, Shay, and they make sure that all of the other kids in the yard know that Shay's here, so that everyone gets to say hello to me, and it is the most adorable thing. I love them so much. I love them so much. I want to level you up so badly. We're going to have to work on an iron farm. You can refresh your trades now. If you will grant me the patience, let me just ramble about the kids for a bit more. I know that a bunch of my community likes hearing me talk about the children in my care. My Twitch chat ask to hear about them all the time, and I've had a number of people start telling me about them caring for kids, whether it's for work or babysitting family members. All right, that's the gold I have available. I'll take it. Let's go. This is an hour of rambling so far. Oh, right, I forgot how bad this was. Yeah, okay, so moving on to my current group of kids. This is going to be less about my current group of kids, though some of it will be about the new children and, you know, helping them settle in, I'm sure. But mostly, so I was prepared for January to be busy, right? And knowing that I was going to go for February to the new room with the new kids, I was prepared for that to be busy too. On top of that, our team leader was going to be away for 3 weeks. So I was asked to work extra. Usually I work 3 days a week. I was asked to work 4 days a week because the team leader in that area was going to be away and I was the most experienced person in that room and that age range. I knew that there was going to be another staff member in our room for that time. However, I thought that it was going to be me and the other staff member in our room, and like 2 casuals or 2 float staff, making up the 4 people in the room. Every room has a team of 4. But due to how things worked out, it ended up being more common for it to be me and 2 helpers who did not regularly work in that room, but were at least pretty experienced. And the other member of my team ended up helping out next door a lot, doing sometimes basically what I was doing in that room over there, because when the 2 adjacent rooms only have one person who's qualified to help new parents go through the settling process to introduce their child, to talk about dietary issues, medical issues, the child's routine, when do they sleep, when do they need bottles, how can we help take care of this child, and 2 rooms to do it for. In February, they need a lot of help. So yeah, it ended up being often that I was not just the most experienced person in the room, but like actually in charge, actually doing as close to the lead educator's job as I can get, as someone who is in the very beginning stages of their qualification, and even the qualification they're working on is not the qualification that the person they're replacing has. And yeah, there was help for me. Like, I wasn't stranded, I wasn't left completely out of my depth. But there were days where it was like, I have not been able to take photos of what the children are doing to, show their parents that, hey, yeah, today was great. Look at this climbing they did. Aren't they getting so confident on the climbing frame? Look at them having fun. Because I have been focused on getting everyone to bed on time, making sure that everyone is fed, answering everybody's questions, delegating things, making sure that, hey, people who don't usually work in this room have all of the children had a nappy change. This is the point of the day where absolutely everyone needs to just check, just make sure. And like, is anything metaphorically on fire out here? No? Cool. Okay, I'm gonna take time to clean the area we eat food before we next serve food, because hygiene and OH&S and food safety, and yeah, as long as nobody's, actively injured or struggling out here, I'm gonna take a minute to write down the information so that when parents ask us, hey, how long did they sleep? Because it's like, I've been serving food today all day, my dude. I have not been in the sleep rooms once. I know that they did, but I lose all perception of time when I am serving food. So yes, your child slept. I can tell you which meals they slept before or after or missed. I cannot give you an exact amount of time unless I count the marks we've made as we check every 10 minutes, or someone has written down this equals this amount of time. So I'm just gonna take a moment to do the paperwork that needs to be done, and then once I've spent 2 minutes doing that, need to feed everybody again. So even now that my supervisor is back and I am no longer bearing the brunt of that, hey, everything needs to be presentable to the parents. We need to be ready to answer the questions and to prove that the children have been well cared for, because they have been. We know they have been. But having something to show the parents to prove that is good, especially when they're new parents who haven't had their children in a childcare service before. Now that the brunt of that is not on my shoulders, using the iron one to get this last one, and okay, we'll head back now. Unless... I mean, that wasn't my plan. I was going to say unless I gather up some of the crimson stem that we just saw. I don't have a hoe on me. I can't, get the leaves. But hey, Nether Fortress, either it's gonna send us home, or it's not. So, a full stone Silk Touch pick can get us 2 stacks of Nether Gold ore, which is great. Totally enough to get our zombie villagers all cured up. So, as I was saying, even with my supervisor back and me not having to bear the brunt of team leader position, making sure everything's staying afloat, I still served all 4 of the meals that need to be served the other day. Usually in babies, there are 4 educators and 1 educator serves 1 meal. So having 1 educator serve all 4 meals is really draining for that educator. But it means that I'm now very familiar with my limit when it comes to serving meals. Like, I can do 2.5 meals without losing the will to small talk with the children, which is, very important when they're learning language, even though the children don't care. They've got food in front of them and they're happy. It's nice to give them language. Where is the back section with the chests? Yeah, so aside from the stress of okay, so one of the stories that I've been telling as to how understaffed and overworked I was for a little bit there while practically managing the room. I was practically soloing the room for a lunchtime because most of our kids are lunch sleepers and they had to go to bed. So the 2 staff that I've got on my hand, who were both feeling sick and asking to leave as soon as they could because they were dizzy and nauseous and starting to feel weak. You just exactly the frame of physical well-being that you don't want to be in when you have to pick up overtired toddlers. They were practically staying in the sleep rooms while we still have more children to get to sleep, just so that, like, everyone doesn't wake up all at once. Finally, they get everybody to sleep, but they're still in there calming children down so that they can actually get some sleep, which is a very important thing to do. But there were still 2 children awake who needed someone to stay with them, and my lunch break was supposed to have started. So I ended up having to call my manager and say, hey, someone needs to stay with these children, and I don't have any staff right now. Do you want to either come here or send somebody so that I can go on my lunch break, baby? And I was fine with it. I only ended up going 10 minutes late, but just that thing of, hey, someone actually physically needs to come in so that the children are not alone when I leave the room was a stressful experience, and one that I think I handled relatively well. But I hope you can understand why I haven't exactly been making videos these past few months. That being said, I've been trying to make videos. I've been desperately trying to. The last End Inchling video that I put out, I sort of struggled to pull together. I wasn't entirely sure what to do with it. It took me a while. The longer I work on a video, the less instant gratification I get from it. So I have been trying to work on End Inchling. I really can't find the chests in this place. I've been trying to work on End Inchling, but I spent an entire day the other week working on getting the shots that I needed for the plan that I have constructed. Oh, I have Silk Touch with me right now. I should absolutely bring back that. Did one of you just aggro at me? If so, are you holding the thing that I need you to be holding? Yeah, one of them aggroed at me. I'm not... It was holding the thing, apparently. I'm not getting that. Not ideal. Let me know, guys. Should I do, like, a windmill or something coming out of that? I'm tempted to put a weather vane or something on it. Maybe from just behind it, a little tower up. I think that would look good and balance it out. And the little reference sketch I used had something coming out on that side. Let me know. I also need to finish up details around that area. There's a lot that needs to be done, actually. I have spent time trying to get End Inchling stuff done, and it's going slow, guys. It's going slow, but I have plans. So this week, I decided that I haven't put anything out on YouTube for so long, and progress on the next End Inchling episode is going so slowly that I should record some Rosewyn Craft and get you guys a little update of where I've been, a little proof that I'm still alive and, still making content, still interested in making content, while I am, slogging through the upcoming episodes. I have plans. I've got a script. I know what I'm doing with at least the opening bit, and then I have some vague ideas for after that, but progress is going at a snail's pace, and I missed you guys, and I also was starting to feel really bad about not putting out a video. Like, people in my community, lovely, lovely members of the community, say to me, Shay, take your time. We will be here. Don't rush yourself. Don't pressure yourself. Take however long you need and take care of yourself, please. And I appreciate that so much. But it's not just you guys that I make these videos for. This is a passion of mine. It's my dream job for as long as I can remember. Part of my image of self is making YouTube videos, and having not done that for a while, I was sort of starting to have a bit of an identity crisis. So I'm feeling really good now after recording a video. I can edit this down into a something now, which is incredible. I'm so pleased about that. That's how things are going. I wanted to get some progress done in this world. I wanted to play Minecraft for a bit because I have been so busy lately. I wanted to give you guys on YouTube a little update of how things are going for me. If you didn't know, I have a Discord server, which is the best place to keep in contact with me and to know how things are going in my day-to-day life. But, you know, I get that not everyone has a Discord or is allowed a Discord or wants to manage another server or cares that much about me and in general what I'm doing. So, you know, here's a little something and a little promise that I am working on the next End Inchling. I haven't forgotten about it. I got a comment at some point that said, like, Shay with Inchling series is like Grian with the back of his base. And I feel like I just gotta say, I feel so called out by that. But I'm working on it. I am working on it. I am doing the thing. It's going slow. It's going slow. Let me know what you think about this blue roof andesite. How do you feel about the andesite? Let me know if you think the farm building needs another tower. Tell me about a small person in your life or how busy you've been in the comments below. What do you think this town needs? What do you think we could do in the beautiful lush cave that looks like it could be great for a little hidden sort of fairy village? These are all questions I have asked over the course of this episode, things that are on my mind. Please leave me a comment, even if it contains none of these things, and I shall see you in the next video, whatever that may be. Bye!